Vergo. Before and after buff comparison, this is his normals before buff. Don Quixote, Kaizoku, dan Vergo. And we're gonna compare it after buff, the normals attack. Well, they said they increased the distance forward and distance backward. You see the difference? It might be very slightly, so it's not really noticeable, but okay. Skill 1 before buff, you see that. One more time, and after buff, increase speed, guys. Not really noticeable, but yes, it did increase the speed a little bit for skill 1. And then skill 2 before buff, you guys see this, and after buff they say it is faster attack activation. We're gonna see that skill 2 after buff, faster attack activation. Yes, I saw that. Amazing. Vergo buff. See it one more time. Nice. And then before buff, if we get down, we don't get any recovery, as you see. But after buff, if we get down, we get recovery HP. You see that one, right? One more time. We get down. Nice recovery. Amazing. Vergo. Attack by Logia. Before buff, you see no recovery. And after buff, you see we got a recovery whenever we get attacked by Kuzan. Before buff, we don't nullify status effect, as you see here. But after buff, we actually nullify status effect if our HP 15% above, which is very cool for step up unit. The next one, Sharoto Brulee. Let's see the comparison, guys. This is her normals before buff. And normals after buff, you guys can see increased attack range, guys. The range increased slightly, so it's not very noticeable, but okay. And then the holding one, it said faster transition timing between action. Just a bit, I suppose. Skill 1, faster transition also. Yeah, I think it's a bit faster, I can say. Nice for skill 1. Skill 2 before buff, you guys can see. And they say it's also faster a bit and increase attack range, guys, after buff. Let's see the range. Wow, okay, I think it's increase attack range for skill 2 after buff. And if we successfully counter, we got HP recovery for skill 2 after buff. Before buff, we can only fill up the treasure 100%, as you see here. Okay, and after buff, 150% for Brulee. Amazing. Our red defender, 150%, but it's also have to be alone on treasure area, and we also remove status effect. Next one, Oden. Before buff, normals attack. Let's see the comparison, guys. After buff, normals attack. It doesn't get faster, but range is increased. Yeah, for range we don't really see it noticeable, but I think yes. Skill 1 before buff, you guys see the speed because it's gonna get faster later after buff. Nice. Skill 1 after buff, of course it's very noticeable for skill 1 speed after buff. You see this, guys? Yeah, Increase speed for skill 1, amazing. Skill 2 before buff. Well, for skill 2, the only difference is that we can move more further for our skill 2. After buff, speed doesn't change, but we can move more further away with our skill 2. Yes, amazing. Oden skill 2. And then before buff, we can't ignore the enemy when there are only 15 seconds left of the battle. You see, we can cap the flag, guys. But after buff, see this, we can cap the flag even there is enemy inside the treasure area. So yeah, this is very broken trade, I suppose. What do you think about this? Before buff, we don't nullify status effect inside treasure unless we pull the treasure. But after buff, you guys can see we nullify status effect even we don't pull the flag. Amazing buff for Oden. And lastly, Onigashima Zoro. Let's see normals before buff. Zoro normals after buff got increased range, guys. It might not very noticeable, but yes, they increased the range for Zoro normals attack, which is amazing. Skill 1 before buff. You see this? Well, they said the buff for skill 1 is adjust to be easier to land. What's your opinion? What's the change, guys? Do you see any difference with that? That's for skill 1. Skill 2 before buff, Asura. Let's see, and they also adjust the skill 2 to be easier to land after buff. And this is the most important one. Before buff, if we use our skill 2 while holding, we can get status affected. But after buff, you guys gotta see later, we can get inflicted by status effect, guys. See that? Amazing. Before buff, perfect dots don't recover our HP. See? But after buff, perfect dots, we got HP recovery, guys. It's amazing. Nice. Before buff, status effect time, you see this, and we compare it after buff. If we got hit by status effect, the time is reduced by 80%. After buff, status effect, see? Already gone, guys. It's very fast now. Before buff, you guys can see we can KO Kuroige with only one Asura there, but after buff, we nullify the 5 now.